Hello, Journey to Good Health friends, and welcome back. If you are on the GLP-1 shot for weight loss and you're doing everything you're supposed to and still not losing weight, this is for you. Here is a checklist of things that you can just think about. For starters, great, you have the appetite suppression, but what are you eating? Everyone should have an app. I use my fitness app. I've been using it for years and I love it because even when I take it off my phone and come back to it, it still has all my information. The My Fitness app is user friendly. But once you get your app and you're logging your food, start looking at what you're eating, because even though we're doing a good job with getting in our protein and our fiber, I'm just going to assume that we have to also watch other things like how much fat that we're getting in. It's good that you're eating less, right? And that you have that whole appetite suppression thing. But if you're eating a lot of fat, that could hinder how much you lose. And I know for a fact that that's the case. And I don't know why I wasn't focusing and paying attention before, but it happened to me. And what I was eating was the protein bars. And so I went to the groups complaining, hey, what's the deal? I lost those first 11 pounds and now nothing. And then someone said, are you eating protein bars? And I said, yes. They said, check the protein bars and the protein cookies because sometimes they're really high in fat. And I got rid of them because I think I only have about 2 that I take because they're decent. But I don't take them, I don't eat them every day. But those other ones were really high in fat. And I was like, oh my God, I'm doing so good with the protein and I'm doing so good with the calories and just making sure, I get the other stuff going. But then I'm eating a lot of fat. Okay, so once I lightened up off of those things, I started losing 1 pound here, 1 pound there. Also check what you're eating, not just the fact that you're eating less, but of the things that you're eating less, are they still high in fat? Are they still high in carbs? Just make sure that you're watching what you're eating. The other thing is, and this is from my doctor, are you having 2 to 3 bowel movements a day? My gastroenterologist states that, and she said this for some years, and the one I had previous to her, who was in his 80s, he said the same thing. Weight loss starts with bowel movement. And he said, if you're not moving your bowels 2 to 3 times a day, you're guaranteed to not lose weight. Because he said you can't, because all of the stuff is packing into your system. It's not going anywhere. He said, every time you feed your dog, what do? You take him for a walk. Why? Because you're supposed to move your bowels within 30 minutes after you eat. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even think about that. So 2 to 3 bowel movements a day is important, and if not, the pounds are going to stick on. So just look into that as well. I know for myself, if I move my bowels 3 times a day, I know tomorrow I'm going to get on that scale and I'm going to be down either some ounces or a pound. I know it. It never fails. And if I only move my bowels 2 times a day, then I know when I get on that scale, I may either be the same weight or maybe some ounces. And if I only move my bowels once, I'm either going to have maintained the same weight or I'm going to have gained. And usually I've gained. Usually. And then I'll be so afraid, I hardly eat, I won't eat meat because meat's slow in digestion. I'll eat a lot of vegetables and drink a lot of water and fiber and everything, and then I'll lose that pound or 2 that I gained. And then, if I slip up again and, don't move my bowels, then it'll happen again. So it's been a seesaw, but the problem is I know why it happens. I just sometimes fall victim, so I can't get upset with the shot or anything else. I have to focus and make sure that I'm moving my bowels 2 to 3 times a day. All right. So now you may say, well, Andrea, how the heck am I going to make myself move my bowels 2 to 3 times a day? And I'm saying bowels, move your bowels, but I'm from Jersey. We speak a little flat and a little different. So it may sound like I'm saying bowels, but I'm saying bowels, BOWELS. Move your bowels 2 to 3 times a day. Are you eating your fiber? Fiber should come from mostly fruit and vegetables. And I say fruit because sometimes we don't always want to eat our vegetables, and we love eating fruit. It's sweet. So definitely if you're eating your fruits and vegetables, then you're going to get that fiber, and that's the best fiber. And it's so weird. People will say to me, wow, you're saying that? Because I eat chia seeds, soaked chia seeds, and I eat ground flaxseed. I buy them whole, so I can make sure they're really flaxseed and nobody's putting sawdust in bags. But the problem with the flax seeds and the chia seeds is you have to be on top of your water. And no matter how much water you drink, even if you do drink your 64 ounces, when you eat flaxseed and chia seeds, you have to drink extra water. So you can't just drink the 64 ounces they tell us to drink normally. You have to drink far more than that because that flaxseed needs that water to push through. Otherwise, it's going, from what the doctor explained to me, it's going to stick to your colon. It needs the water to help to flush it. And they work together, the flaxseed and the water. That's what he said. They work together. I eat a lot of flaxseed and chia seeds, but I'm saying to eat more fruits and vegetables because, again, it's just easier. It's easy. At least like right now, I'm really busy writing grants. It's easier for me to grab fruit and eat it. It's easier for me to just go in and if I don't feel like eating anything, warm up some vegetables and have a nice bowl of that, and then I'm done. I've done it for like a whole meal. If I know I didn't reach my fiber and I want to make sure I move my bowels today, for lunch, I've eaten a bowl of mixed vegetables. I've eaten a salad because, again, I want to lose that weight. And in order to do that, I have to move my bowels. Now, some people may not believe that. That's fine. My doctor said it to me, and when I started following up on it, I found it actually worked. The other thing is water. Now, they tell you the average person should drink 64 ounces of water a day. However, Zepbound, Manjaro, Wegovy, and all these other shots, they say that you have to overhydrate. Not overhydrate because, some people have drank so much water that they've drowned. So, of course, I'm not saying that. But you have to drink more than your 64 ounces of water because whatever these ingredients is in this shot, it just requires that you drink more water. And I did read it. I wish I would have thought about it. I would have had it here so I could read it to you. I'll try to find it and maybe make a short video. But they say that we're supposed to have the extra water because it's going to help. The shot dehydrates. In short, the shot dehydrates, but the extra water is going to make sure that we don't. So you can't just drink your 64 ounces. I saw, when I Googled it, I saw 70 to 80 ounces, but my doctor said 80 ounces. And I think I asked ChatGPT and it said try to drink 100, but minimum 80. And so either way, everybody seems to say 80. So I try to make sure that minimum I'm getting 80 ounces of water. Right now I'm on 66 ounces and it's 9:30. So I just filled up my thing again, which is 24 more ounces. That should put me in my 80 mark. Even if it takes me till 2 a.m. to drink when you wake up and go to the bathroom, I've learned to just get it in. Just get the water in. So that's what I do. And I'm just suggesting to you that you get that water in because the vegetables and fruit is fiber. And when you have that water, it helps to help that fiber go through your system to help you have those healthy bowel movements. My doctor said that we should be taking magnesium citrate. And the reason why, several reasons why, and I'm going to pause and look up the other information about magnesium citrate because every time I tell people it's really good for a healthy bowel movement, etc., they always say, what else? And there's so many things that magnesium is good for, but we absolutely need to get the magnesium citrate because citrate is so there's magnesium, I think gluconate and some other ones. Those you have to take with food. You have to, without a shadow. If you don't, it's not going to absorb. However, magnesium citrate you can take on an empty stomach with or without food. It doesn't matter. And also citrate helps your body to absorb the magnesium better. Magnesium also helps you absorb your other vitamins better. As a matter of fact, sleep and relaxation promotes relaxation by maintaining healthy levels of GABA, a neurotransmitter that promotes sleep, muscle and nerve function, cardiovascular health, digestive health, bone health, migraine prevention, and blood sugar control. I want to get to another thing that a lot of people don't think about, why I may not be losing weight. Well, sometimes it could be that you may not be losing pounds, but you're losing inches. So make sure that you go and you check, get a measuring tape and you check. As much as you check your weight, you should be checking your inches. Someone said in one of the groups that I was in to someone who was complaining about not losing weight, and they said, well, get the measuring tape and check and see, because would you be upset if you lost inches and didn't lose pounds? If you were at the shape that you wanted, but your pound still says 300, 400 pounds, but you look like 36, 26, 36, or whatever measurements that you actually want. And I said, okay, that makes sense. But, Yeah, get the measuring tape and just make sure, and don't be so hard on yourself, because as long as you're doing everything that you're supposed to, you just have to probably investigate and find out what's wrong. And so part of your investigation as far as hitting the gym is, am I, really going hard in the gym? Am I really working hard at building muscle? Because if you are building a lot of muscle, you have to remember that muscle is dense and it weighs, right? And so that's the reason why you're like, oh, well, I lost 5 pounds last week, but when I started going to the gym, it's like I gained them back. Well, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just you built muscle. So measure yourself and see if that makes it, if that's going down. And then if neither one of them have gone down, then you have some investigation to do even further. I myself had to stop and ask, wait, what are we doing? Because I used to be an aerobic instructor, and you have to decide how you want to mold your body. You don't just run and lose weight. And so I had to ask myself, like, okay, what are we doing? Are we toning? We're not bodybuilding, because I was never that person. I had colleagues and coworkers who they wanted to build that muscle. I just wanted to tone. I wanted to be still soft and subtle looking, but I just, didn't want flab. And it's the same with now. And so what I'm doing is I'm exercising my muscle enough so that I don't lose them when I lose weight, but I'm not, trying to go and bench press, lifting weights at all times. I'll do it, but I'll do light weights. I won't, get out there and try to push 200 and 250 or 100 or, no, I'm not doing that. So you have to know your intention. And if your intention is to really go hard in the gym and really, push some weights because you want to build up these, strong muscles or whatever. I forget the terminology that they're using in the groups, but if that is your goal, then just know that for a little bit, you're going to see that scale number go up, because you're going to exchange the fat for the muscle, if that makes sense. And I know there's a better way of putting it, but that's just a simple way of looking at it. You're going to lose the fat, you're going to burn it, but you're going to gain some muscle. And so the last thing that I have for you is that you will need to switch up your workout. If you're doing everything, if you're like, Andrea, I'm getting my fiber, I'm getting my protein, and I'm moving my bowels 2 to 3 times a day, and like you're literally doing every single thing and you're not losing, then maybe look at your workout. You can't keep doing the same workout and keep losing. You know what I mean? It's like if you walk a mile, you're going to get a mile. You can't walk a mile and get more than a mile. In other words, you can't do the same exercises that you do now and lose the weight that you're going to lose for now, and then want to continue losing weight without adding something else on. Your body's going to get used to what you did, and it's going to need something more in order for you to lose more, because it gets used to it. It's like, okay, we wake up, we do 50 sit-ups, we do 50 push-ups, we do 100 jumping jacks, we do squats, and we do it every day for 6 months. That workout that you're doing is going to start just maintaining the weight that you've lost. So if it was just 10 or 15 pounds or 25 pounds or 30 or 50, you doing the same regimen is going to keep you at that same weight. And if you want more, then you're going to have to do more. It's a little unfair. I used to always say, it's so unfair. And it is a little bit, I guess. But, it's one of those things where this is how it works. And if you want more, you have to do more. So if you've done your workout and you've eaten right, and there's pretty much no reason why you should not have lost weight, switch it up. Whatever you were doing, switch it up. I don't care if you can switch it up where, how some people, their regimen is let's say Monday and Thursday, they tone. And then maybe Wednesday and Saturday, they go do Zumba. And other than that, they're eating everything right. They're getting their deficit in their calories and everything. They're getting the protein and the fiber. They're moving their bowels 2 to 3 times a day. So they're doing everything, and probably something I just haven't discovered as yet. They're doing everything they're supposed to. Switch it up. You can still do everything else that you were supposed to, log in your food and all of that. But now the whole Monday, Thursday, and then Wednesday, Saturday workout routine, switch it up. Now maybe you do the step class on Monday, and then that Thursday you do the toning, or Saturday you do. You just have to switch it up, and sometimes just switching it up is not even more. The reason why I say switching it up is because when we taught aerobic class, one of the things we used to tell our clients is that when you switch it up, the body was used to working out on Monday and Thursday, and you just switched it over to a day where you were chilling. You were home relaxing with your feet up, drinking coffee. It was your, eat what you want to eat day. And now you're making it work out, and the body's like, ugh. Again, it's like a shock to the body. And sometimes it's not just switching up. Sometimes it's adding new exercises. So if you normally do crunches and leg lifts and push-ups, maybe now you got to start adding pull-ups. Maybe you got to start walking. If you always walk and you never exercise, maybe now it's time to introduce a class, a Zumba class or an aerobics class or something. Maybe you just go swimming at the gym. But whatever it is that you're used to doing, you're going to have to switch it up. Now, I'm not saying you got to switch it up after 2 weeks no weight loss. I'm saying if you reach a stall, and I hate to use that word, but if you reach one, then that's when you're going to have to switch it up because nothing's happening. The body's gotten used to it. Ho hum. Here we go again. Same regular routine. All right, so we'll maintain, All right, so that's what I have for you today, and hopefully it was helpful. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, comment below, share the channel with, it's a Journey to Good Health channel, so please share it with anyone who is in their journey to good health, and anyone who is either on a bariatric weight loss or the GLP-1 shots for weight loss, or just, I don't know, come and comment, learn something new, because this is my journey and I want to record it for other people who are like me. I get a lot from YouTube, and this was just a way that I thought I could give back. So thank you for joining me. I hope I was able to help someone. And again, please share it to someone who you think can benefit from it, especially if you're in those Facebook groups and someone asks a question that I'm dealing with in this episode or this video. Thank you so much, and stay positive in your journey to good health.